good afternoon from Magnolia State Weather. I am student meteorologist Ashton Champion. Um, we got a wild one and a crazy one across northern Mississippi this morning. I bring out the sky cam. This is one of the MDOT traffic cams. This is on Highway 49 next to Helena, Arkansas. This is the bridge that crosses over the Mississippi River from Mississippi into Louisiana. And so if we go to our radar now, I'll put that actually. Yep. If we look at our radar now, we have um, some freezing rain, some sleet, some mix up in northern Mississippi. This is primarily north of Yazoo City and Kosciuszko towards the Mississippi-Tennessee state line. So if you're north of Highway 82, you are more than likely seeing wintry mix right now. Some of that could be freezing rain, some could be just liquid rain, but overall, still that freezing rain across northern Mississippi as of right now. For the most part, southwestern Mississippi seeing only rain for now. Now that could change as we get later on into the night, but that's where we're sitting as of right now. But welcome to Magnolia State Weather Live. Once again, here's our picture from Helena and Helena West. That would be, let's see, this is up there on Highway 49, the bridge that crosses over near Lula, Mississippi, that goes between Arkansas Highway 1 and Mississippi, not Mississippi, yeah, Mississippi Highway 1 and Arkansas Highway 1. And so that's where this is right now. If I get this set up, I have the radar in the top corner. Sorry, just trying to make sure everything's set up since we just started. Let me double check this real quick. Oh, there we go. I think we got it figured out finally. Yep, I think we're good now. There we go. Just trying to make a few more adjustments since we're just getting started. All right, here's our radar right now. Let's start breaking down what's going on across northern Mississippi. This is starting to look at the Columbus radar, and so one thing you'll notice is that there's a big hole that circles the Columbus radar, and so what more than likely is happening is that some of this freezing rain and mix or whatever it is evaporating before we get to the ground, and so that's why you kind of see a line. If I pull up Epic Pen, if it loads, where'd it go? There it is. I'll pull up Epic Pen. That's why you kind of see a circle around the Columbus radar. If you look at Columbus, Mississippi, that's basically where this radar is located. We have a circle basically around this radar where really the radar is not showing much making its way to the ground. That's more than likely because areas out here towards Grenada, Greenwood, Greenville, Clarksdale, Oxford, the radar beam's already multiple thousand feet into the air, and so the radar's picking up um, freezing rain mix in the upper atmosphere or in the mid levels of the atmosphere, I should say. But most of that's evaporating before it gets to the ground, is what it seems like right now. Let's move over to the Jackson radar. The Jackson radar probably showing about the same thing. Let's look. No, the Jackson radar has mostly rain down here. That's why everything's making it to the ground for the most part. This shows, I mean, you got some stronger showers down here. So near Hazelhurst, we're seeing some stronger showers starting to move into southern or southwestern Mississippi near Woodville and near Natchez. We're not worried about freezing rain for southwestern Mississippi as of right now. We will be more worried about that tomorrow morning. I'm trying to see if the chat, I don't have any chat, so give me 1 second. Let me pull up the chat on my phone because it's not pulling up over here. Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. All right, I now have chat. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We have a long one ahead with this event, and that's more the reason why I delayed my start time tonight. If you will remember the system that we had come through a few weeks ago, maybe just like 10 days ago or so, that we had that system that settled through for almost an entire weekend and went over 2 days. That system took a lot out of me. I'm not gonna lie. Woke up at 4 o'clock and was up for almost 30 something hours covering that event. And so I kind of delayed what time I was going to go live today, getting ready for this event because we have a long way ahead of us here across Mississippi. And so, I guess the question is, what can you expect for like portions of southwestern Mississippi for Jackson, areas that haven't seen freezing rain yet today? What can you expect? And I'll go into that right now. If we look at the MRMS, so this is I'm kind of putting all the radars together. That's what we're looking at right now. We'll see mostly freezing rain is north of this line that I'm drawing right here. Most of it in northern Mississippi. We're not seeing any freezing rain into central Mississippi just yet. And really, this freezing line has been moving north throughout the day. Now, actually, I'll color this blue so that you can see it. This freezing line has been moving north throughout the day as you get some daytime heating. And so, what's going to happen is as we go into the night and as we go into Sunday morning, this freezing line that I've made in pink is going to start moving to the south. And so what's going to happen is that freezing line, I'll draw it out one more time. Let me draw it in a better color for you to see. Let's draw it in blue. I'll draw the current freezing line in blue. And so what's going to happen as we go into the night is that freezing line is going to begin to move to the south as we get cooler conditions throughout the night. As the cold air makes its way farther east, we'll start getting that freezing line farther to the south. And so that's what we're looking at as of right now. That's why we don't have any freezing rain in Jackson right now or in Natchez, but we're looking at that possibility tomorrow morning. And so if you're in southwestern Mississippi, know that your freezing rain threat is not until tomorrow morning. And so while it's still totally possible, maybe Natchez doesn't get any freezing rain, I do think it's more than likely that Natchez might get a little bit of a freezing rain potential down there. Personally, I'm going to circle an area down here in southern Mississippi. If you're down in this area, actually that might be a little big, but you're down here in the southern Pine Belt and on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, I'm more than certain that you probably will not see any freezing rain at all, not even a trace. However, tomorrow we have to look at the severe weather threat, because if I pull out the severe weather threat right now, let's see what I can find. Severe weather. If I pull out the day 2 severe weather risk, we have a slight risk for severe weather in portions of South Mississippi and coastal Mississippi. And this is due to a tornado risk and a damaging wind risk. We'll get into all that here across the next several hours. But overall, I mean, you have a winter storm in North Mississippi and portions maybe of central Mississippi and then maybe southwestern Mississippi. And then, of course, we have a severe weather potential for coastal Mississippi. It's just the wildness of our weather here in the southeast, but that's also because we have a large temperature gradient that helps fuel instability. Anyways, if you have any questions, please put any questions you have in the chat. I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Trying to open up my chat one more time. Let's bring out some cameras now. So once again, this is the camera crossing the Mississippi River in west Mississippi. This is on Highway 49. I'll move to a different camera here in just a second. The first question is, what is my opinion for Jones County? Well, personally, I think Jones County is going to see nothing. I have the chances of Jones County maybe seeing a little trace, but at this point, I'm fairly confident Jones County will not see any freezing rain. If I'm wrong and Jones County did see a little bit of freezing rain, it would have extremely minimal impact. So that's what we're looking at for Jones County down in the Pine Belt. Next weekend system. That's a good question. I've been looking at next week's system, but it's kind of still all over the place. In case you didn't know, there's a system that the GFS and the Euro are fighting over next week that shows anywhere from snow to thunderstorms and severe weather across Mississippi and the southeast. However, I am not going to pull the trigger on posting anything about that just yet. My rule of thumb is that I avoid looking at any long-range models when there is a big system in between. And so since we have this system we're still going through right now, I will not look at the GFS and Euro really that seriously, because there's going to be a lot of things that happens with the system we're going through right now this weekend that will change the upcoming system next week. And so that's why I'm really not going to hone in on the severe weather threat or the snow threat or whatever it may be with next week's system. I just know we will have a system more than likely moving through next week. So that's a good question, but sorry, I don't have like an exact answer on that right now. Models are all over the place with it, and that's because we still have a big system between now and then. Next question is, what about Newton County? Newton County is a good one. Let me move over to the radar. I'm sorry that the radar hasn't been up right now. Let's go to here. Show that up in the corner. The next question was Newton County. And so Newton County is in the marginal risk for severe weather tomorrow. Now, I honestly think that the odds of Newton County seeing freezing rain is higher than seeing severe weather tomorrow. But just know for Newton County, I think I had you labeled under 0 to. Let's see if this loads. Nope. Sorry. Let's get that out of here. Let me pull up that graphic one more time. Let me see. Let me remind myself my forecast exactly what I had there because Newton County is in a weird area. So let me figure that one out real quick. Let's see. Down here somewhere. Where did I put this? It's like I made the forecast. Where did I put it? Okay. All right. I see a queue of counties. I'm going through Newton County first, and then I'll go through Copiah County and then Tate County. So 3 counties in a row. Right now, just give me 1 second to find where I put this. Okay, I'm just gonna have to go get it from myself. Give me one moment. All right. Sorry, one-man operation here, doing everything I can to get this going as smoothly as possible. All right, there we go. I'm about to put it onto the screen right now. Let's go to only radar while I pull this up. All right, here we go. Yep. Okay. So Newton County was in that weird area I had where anywhere from 0 to maybe 2/10 of an inch of ice on the ground. Now, here's kind of the weird part. I could not count out portions of northwestern Newton County maybe seeing a little bit of freezing rain tomorrow morning. However, I think for the most part, Newton County is in um, good shape. I think if Newton County does see any freezing rain, it would be in northwestern Newton County, and overall the impacts would be fairly low. And so I'm not like Scott County is just off to the west. It's the county to the west of Newton County. I still think portions of northern Scott County could see freezing rain, and so that's why I'm a little hesitant to say Newton County is out of the is completely out of the system itself. I'd say if you're in southern Newton County, like south of I-20, I would say you're pretty much fine. But maybe areas of northern Newton County, I can't count out of getting a little freezing rain tomorrow morning. Next question is a dog trying to come in here? Whatever. The next question, let's look. The next question is Copiah County. Good question. Let's look at what's going on with Copiah County right now. So Copiah County down here in southwestern Mississippi. Copiah County seeing rain as of right now, and you will more than likely keep seeing rain and more rain as the day goes today. However, I still think that there's a chance tomorrow that Copiah County could definitely see some freezing rain. And so that's why I had Copiah County in like the wide range of yellow I had here. And some people have commented that know not a lot about weather. That's like, oh, you can't like, why can you not pinpoint this down? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, if you want the honest answer, Copiah County could see nothing or it could see maybe an inch of ice. I think those odds of seeing an inch of ice may have gone down just a little bit, but some models are still pointing towards Copiah County could see a good dosing of ice. And so for Copiah County, I think you're still in that 50-50 chance. Now, we'll go and look at models here in just a little while. We'll look and see what some models are saying. But honestly, if you're in Copiah County, I would say that you need to be prepared for either one. I'm sorry that I can't give you a specific answer. But Copiah County is right in that line where 1 degree is going to be the difference between freezing rain and rain. So I'm sorry I can't be very specific on that, but that's just kind of how you're sitting for Copiah County. Be ready for either one. Good question, though. We'll continue to watch Copiah County. For Copiah County, if you're expecting anything, it would be tomorrow morning. So just know you're not expecting anything tonight. That would be a tomorrow morning issue. Next question is Tate County. Oh boy, Tate County up in northwestern Mississippi. We can actually pull up a sky cam from Tate County right now. Let's actually do that. Actually, we don't have any sky cam or any MDOT traffic cams in Tate County, but we can get one that's close. Here is currently what we're looking up. Sorry, I didn't put it in full screen. This is what we're looking at just to the north of Tate County right now. Um, so I would assume Tate County might be a little less than this. We had a lot of snowfall and freezing rain and mix in northwestern Mississippi this morning. And so I think Tate County actually got a little lucky with some snow this morning, but it's just going to continue to have freezing rain and mix over Tate County for the next several hours. If I pull up the radar right here, um, Tate County right in the thick of it up here just to the south of Hernando, Senatobia has been seeing a good bit of freezing rain all morning. Let's go to the radar in Memphis real quick. This will give us a better idea. Yeah, just heavy freezing rainfall across Tate County right now. You might get a little bit of a break here in a little while, but it's just going to be like that for the next roughly 36 hours. If I had to guess, maybe longer actually, now that I think about it. I want to go over here to the estimated, um, let's see, I don't think we have any winter weather uh, totals down. But for Tate County, you're going to continue to see um, freezing rain for the next several hours. If I go back to the widespread radar just real quickly, one more thing for Tate County. Yeah. So these storms will continue, are these, this, I mean, winter storm will continue to move off to the northeast for right now. You're going to get a break between sometime tonight and Sunday morning, it looks like. Like I said, there's two waves of this system, and we talked about that yesterday and the day before. That it looked like you were going to have the initial wave come through on Saturday and then the secondary wave come through on Sunday. So it looks like you could get a little break. You can see portions of Arkansas seeing a little bit of a break from the winter weather. And so luckily here, within the next few hours, by time maybe sunset comes around, you might get a break over there in Tate County overnight at least, but then we'll get more freezing rain tomorrow. Tate County, in that area that I was expecting 1 to 3 inches of freezing rain or freezing precipitation, it looks like that could still get up there towards 3 inches of freezing rain, but more than likely it'll be a little less than that. Good question. Next up is Centerville, Mississippi. Centerville is that Lauderdale County? Let me double check. Let's see. Is that Lauderdale County? I think that's Lauderdale County, right? No, it's a Mike County. Sorry. Not I was thinking of oh, what is the town in Lauderdale County? I was thinking of Collinsville, not Centerville. Okay, next up, Centerville in I might in Wilkinson. Oh yeah, I've been through Centerville. I apparently I don't know much about southwestern Mississippi. Centerville, you're right now just looking at rain for now. Centerville, I would not count out of the freezing rain potential tomorrow morning. Natchez is more than likely going to see freezing rain than you will tomorrow, but still no. Centerville down there in Wilkinson and Mike County, you can definitely see some freezing rain tomorrow. And I don't want to say that the accumulations would be small, but some models are suggesting that if I apparently threw away my Epic pen again. Okay, here it is. Like some models are showing the freezing rain point. Hold on, let me reopen Epic Pen. Sorry. Oh, there's a pen on here. Hold on. There we go. Some models are showing the freezing rain line could make it to about right here tomorrow. And so if that does happen, I mean, really, you could see areas upwards of an inch of ice, but also that is still a 50-50 shot. Good question for Centerville, because it really is in that area where 1 degree is going to be the difference between a lot of freezing rain or just rainfall. So you're also in that area where it's just kind of no man's land. It's hard to know what exactly is going to happen with this system. Be prepared for both. What is going on right now? There we go. Let's reopen this Epic Pen real quick. It broke on me for a second. Sorry. Okay, we'll continue to go through the questions. Okay, that was Centerville. Let's go through Lawrence County. Lawrence County. I think you're a little bit too far to the west that I think more than likely Lawrence County will not see anything in terms of freezing rain. Maybe the northwestern portion of the county gets a little bit of freezing rain tomorrow morning. For the most part, Lawrence County should be okay, but just Just know you're right on the edge of like the farthest east that the freezing line's expected to make it, possibly. So maybe northwestern Lawrence County gets a little bit of freezing rain, but we're not talking about any major real ice storm for Lawrence County as of right now. But that could change as we go into tonight and into the morning. Just be prepared. You're a little close to where that freezing line is expected to be. And so just stay on your toes and be prepared. Continue to go down. Philadelphia, Mississippi. Philadelphia, Mississippi is in a little bit higher of a risk than we see down for like Lawrence County, I was just saying. Um, so let's see, Philadelphia here, Neshoba County. I mean, you have freezing rain right now, about 30 miles to your northwest in Kosciuszko and Louisville, seeing some mix up there. More than likely just rain, but some mix not too far to your northwest. For Philadelphia, I'd say tomorrow morning is probably where your best chance of freezing rain is going to be. But if I go back to my forecast, lots of questions um, for the people for the areas that have been asking questions, and I get it. I understand asking questions because you're in the no man's land here. What's going to happen? Are we going to see freezing rain? Are we not? I will say models have trended for that freezing line to be a little farther south. So I would say in Neshoba County, say maybe it's a 60% chance that you get some freezing rain tomorrow morning. But you're still in that area where 1 degree is going to make the difference between freezing rain and rain. Thank you for the question. Next up is Meridian, Collinsville, Lauderdale County. Now, for Meridian and specifically Collinsville in Lauderdale County, I think you're fine. I think Lauderdale County is too far to the south and too far to the east that Meridian will more than likely not see any freezing rain. If I'm wrong, and if any freezing rain did happen in Meridian or in Lauderdale County, it would be very minimal. We would not. It would not really have any impacts. However, for all of these areas in southern Mississippi that I'm talking about may not see freezing rain, you will have a threat of black ice on Sunday night and into Monday morning as temperatures will get well below freezing. So even though freezing rain might not fall from the sky, all this rain across southern Mississippi will freeze on Sunday night and into Monday morning. And so even though you might not see freezing rain fall from the sky, totally possible you will see black ice on the ground on Sunday night and Monday morning. See if we had any other questions regarding any locations. We have not for right now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. This counter above me, it's right there. It shows the total ice storm warning and winter storm warnings across the country right now. 25 ice storm warnings, 99 winter storm warnings. This is more than likely counties, if I had to guess. But that's where we're looking at right now. A big winter storm across the United States right now. Unfortunately, this thing below me is like it's the overwarm system, and so all it shows, all that shows is winter storm warnings below me for right now, and warnings around the area. Unfortunately, I'll have to add ice storm warnings to our ticker below me. We do not have those as of right now, but just know there's plenty of counties that are not under a winter storm warning that are in an ice storm warning that will not be showing on this ticker below me. So just know that. Columbia, Mississippi. Good question. Columbia will more than likely not see any freezing rain with this system, but black ice will be a problem Sunday night and into Monday morning. All right, so we zoom out a little more here. Big winter storm across portions of the Midwest and into the eastern portion of the United States through Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, Missouri. Lots of snow, but then you also have a massive ice storm spanning all the way from central Texas and even western Texas, all the way through Mississippi and portions of northwestern Alabama right now. I think we can begin looking at some models for now. Actually, I'll bring up some traffic cams for right now. Let's go to Holly Springs right now. There we go. This is where we're sitting at in Holly Springs right now. Plenty of ice on the ground right now. Some of that looks like it may have melted just a little bit, but Holly Springs up there looks like roughly maybe half an inch of ice has fallen so far, maybe a little more. But this is on Interstate 22 in Holly Springs. If I go back, I'll put the radar in the corner up there. We'll begin looking at models here in just a second. I'm gonna let the sky cam play, the MDOT traffic cam play for just a second while I get it set up for us to look at some models as of right now. Actually, I'll have to switch it over to. Sorry, I'll have to switch it over just for a second so that I can move a tab over here and then put you back over here. Sorry, I need a few more monitors to play around with, but we got to make it work for now. So, what are the models showing? What are we expecting here across the state of Mississippi? So the first one we'll look at is the HRRR. The HRRR always a great model to look at, and the 18Z has came out roughly an hour ago. And so I'll now switch it over. And this is what we're looking at with the HRRR. So freezing rain, wintry mix, maybe some snow up in northern Mississippi. This is for basically right now. And as we move ahead, that freezing point moves just north just a little bit as the day goes due to daytime heating, of course. But then as we go into tonight and into Sunday morning, we're going to have a push of cold air come into parts of central Mississippi and portions of southwestern Mississippi. And unless the HRRR has changed, I mean, this shows freezing rain possible all the way up to, I mean, this shows Lawrence County. This might be a little aggressive. I'll have to wait and see, really. I did say some of these areas looks unlikely to see freezing rain. However, the HRRR suggesting maybe a little bit of freezing rain is possible. More than likely, this would be a mix of freezing rain and rain, and so that's what we're looking at as of right now. The HRRR really showing freezing rain could make its way into most of southwestern Mississippi and now portions of southern Mississippi. But still, you got that freezing battle zone line right in the area we've been talking about where maybe you get some freezing rain, maybe it's just rain. But overall, for most of South Mississippi and the Gulf Coast, you don't have any threat of freezing rain at all. The next question is Tallahatchie County. I'll give you an update in just 1 second. So that's the HRRR. This is where the HRRR shows the freezing line make it. And so that would include the Golden Triangle. That would include portions of, I mean, this shows northern Lawrence County, parts of Scott County, areas that have been saying you need to be fluid for a system like this because, I mean, it looks like the threat of freezing rain's there. Sure, nothing might happen. Sure, you might not get any freezing rain, but the chance is still there. What about Meridian? I really think Meridian will not see any freezing rain with this system, but on the back end of this system, even if you only see rain, you will have a threat of black ice on the roadways after all the rain that's fallen with this system freezes on Sunday night. Okay, so Tallahatchie County. Let's go back to the radar just real quick. So Tallahatchie County. I believe that this is Tallahatchie County with Charleston. I want to double check that real quick. I think I know my counties, right? That's Tallahatchie County. Please don't be wrong. Yep, that is Tallahatchie County. All right. Tallahatchie County, right now, you're still going through some rough mix right now of ice and rain probably right now. Really everything falling in Tallahatchie County right now. We could get a sky cam on it here in just a second. But overall, you're going to have some heavy wintry mix moving through the area for the next several hours. However, you might get a break later tonight as you see clearness over portions of Arkansas that will begin to move into northwestern Mississippi across the next few hours. So you might get a break in Tallahatchie County before the second wave comes in tomorrow morning. Louisville, Mississippi. Good question. Good question. Louisville, Mississippi. I really think that Louisville will see freezing rain tomorrow morning. Now, Louisville is just to the south of where the freezing rain is expected right now. You have freezing rain probably roughly 20 to 30 miles to the north of you right now in Louisville. But Louisville will more than likely see some freezing rain tomorrow morning. I would say it's roughly a 70% chance that Louisville sees freezing rain tomorrow morning. And honestly, you could see freezing rain totals upwards of maybe a half an inch to an inch of freezing rain if it does freeze. You're just really in that battleground point where 1 degree will be the difference between freezing rain and rain. Let's see if I can find some more traffic cameras. Okay, let's go towards Tallahatchie County. Do we have any? We do not have any sky cams in Tallahatchie County. Let's see if we have anything still on the ground in Fulton. It looks like nothing on the ground in Fulton as of right now. Let's go to Saltillo. Saltillo, I still am not seeing anything on the ground. It looks like most of it has thawed out. I'll pull the camera up from Saltillo, Mississippi. You can still see some freezing water, some frozen water on the sides of the interstate still. But Saltillo saw some freezing rain earlier today. But overall, some of that is still lingering, but most of it has melted as of right now. If we go back to the radar showing that the radar is still showing that Saltillo is having freezing rain right now. However, I would still say that that is more than likely melting as you get close to the ground because it's more than likely about 33 or 34 degrees in Saltillo, Mississippi as of right now. Now, let's see if we can get another camera right now. Let's see. I know we saw some good, like there was a lot of coverage up near Memphis this morning. If I go to South Haven, I mean, we're just going to look through the cameras at this point for right now. I mean, here's one from South Haven, Mississippi. Like this is insane. There's a lot of snow on the ground up there in South Haven. This is more than likely a mix of snow and maybe some freezing rain. But like I said yesterday, those counties near the Mississippi-Tennessee border had a snow risk this morning. And guess what? It looks like it played out. And so that's where we're sitting up there towards South Haven, towards Memphis, and for those Mississippi and Tennessee bordering counties. If you have any pictures, feel free to send them in. We will definitely show them on stream if you send something in. But that's how we're looking right now in South Haven, Mississippi, near the Memphis metro area. Let's find another sky cam as of right now. Let's see. Let's go towards Olive Branch. What is Olive Branch looking at in northern Mississippi? See if I can find a really good camera up here in Olive Branch. Here's a good one. Here's how we're sitting in Olive Branch right now. Olive Branch, plenty of snow on the ground and plenty of ice on the ground up there near the Mississippi-Tennessee border. This is Olive Branch, Mississippi. Sorry, I just like froze for a second. If you have any questions, feel free to send them in for any city or county in Mississippi. I'd feel more than happy to answer questions right now as we're just looking around an ice storm and some wintry snow up in northern Mississippi. I know I keep saying ice storm. That's just because the majority of northern Mississippi is under an ice storm right now. Portions of northern Mississippi near the Memphis area have seen a lot of snow on the ground, and so sorry to mislabel our winter precipitation as of right now. All right, so let's go to the models again real quick. I want to look at tomorrow's severe weather risk that we've been talking about. I'll put the sky cam up in the corner. That is from Olive Branch, Mississippi. If we look at the models, this is the HRRR once again. The HRRR, look down here for in South Mississippi and South Alabama. The HRRR is suggesting maybe there will be some instability in southern Mississippi and South Alabama. I'll actually go ahead and circle that out right now. It's going to be in this area right here, where some thunderstorms could form tomorrow that could have small tornado potential with them. And so that's because temperatures are going to be near 70 degrees tomorrow, on dew points in the upper 60s. But also, if I go to the instability in the atmosphere, let's go with the surface-based CAPE. You're going to see some instability make its way into South Mississippi and South Alabama. Now, this might only be about 500 joules per kilogram at the most, and that's a very low amount of instability in the atmosphere. But if I take a click here and look at it, I mean, you have maybe 1300 CAPE possible if some of these storms get into ideal conditions, temperatures in the upper 60s, dew points in the mid 60s. Definitely a low enough cloud base to support maybe a tornado. And then you look here at the photograph, you're seeing lots of curvature in the lower atmosphere. And so this really looks like a setup that could produce um, maybe a weak tornado, maybe some damaging winds, but it's really going to depend on how the storms and the ingredients come together tomorrow. But overall, like I said, you're going to have that instability in the lower atmosphere. And then also temperatures. If I go to the surface, you're going to have temperatures near 70 degrees in South Mississippi. Actually, probably above 70 degrees for certain areas of South Mississippi tomorrow. And then also the dew points going to be near that 70-degree mark, which is really what you look for in terms of supporting severe weather. So that's what we have right now. I'm not really too worried about our severe weather risk as of right now, but that's where we're sitting with that slight risk and marginal risk across South Mississippi. Get another sky cam out here right now. Let's go over near. Let's see what else I can find. What are we looking at for Blue Springs, Mississippi right now? A whole lot of nothing for Blue Springs right now. Maybe a little bit of freezing precipitation on the ground. Maybe Oxford. Oh, here's a good camera. Oxford, Mississippi. See if I can find anything good here in Oxford. Here's how we are looking on Highway 278 in Oxford right now. Pulling it up. This is what we're looking at in Oxford, Mississippi right now. Ole Miss has canceled classes tomorrow because of the winter storm. And so, not tomorrow, tomorrow's Sunday. Ole Miss has canceled classes for Monday. Um, Mississippi State has put classes virtual on Monday. And then I'm almost certain a lot of high schools up there have closed from Monday as well. I haven't really checked into any reports as of right now. But this is how it's looking in Oxford on Highway 278 right now. Plenty of ice on the ground, but overall, still looks like people are trying to make their way through Oxford as of right now. Luckily, it looks like we're about to cross the 1,300 followers line on Facebook, which is really funny because we were sitting at 9,700 roughly 20 days ago, 20 something days ago. And so if we've had massive support with Magnolia State Weather here in the last 20 days. Already 4 million views this year. And so we're already past the amount of views we had all year last year. So lots of support. It's really meant a lot to me for everyone that's been watching Magnolia State Weather. Just remember, you can watch Magnolia State Weather here on Facebook, but if it's also more convenient for you, we have Magnolia State Weather live on YouTube. All you have to do is look up Magnolia State Weather. And so just remember, I'm always open to questions here. And so if you want to ask anything, feel free. Really sitting here monitoring the radar right now, asking questions, looking at models. Really, it gives me some stuff to do with a system like this. It's not like it's a severe weather threat where we're focusing on a tornado or maybe a severe thunderstorm. We're really just looking at the radar, looking at where's it snowing, where are we having wintry mix, where are we having freezing rain, where's the freezing point at? Just a lot of things to look at for a winter system like this. I'll move over to the radar right now. This is where we're looking. As of right now, I'll actually remove the severe risk for tomorrow. As of right now, this is how we look across Mississippi right now. Freezing rain across southern and southwestern Mississippi. Not freezing rain. What? Just rain over southern Mississippi and southwestern Mississippi. all rain south of I-20 here in the Magnolia State. But as you get up towards the Highway 82 corridor and to the north, that's where you start seeing freezing rain and wintry mix. Maybe a mix of freezing rain and liquid near Greenwood, Greenville, and along the Highway 61 corridor between Yazoo City, Greenwood, Greenville, Clarksdale. But overall, looks like most of northwestern Mississippi is seeing fairly heavy amounts of freezing rain as of right now. Wind for Carroll County in Mississippi. Yes, let me check that one out for you. Let me remember just exactly which county Carroll is. I've gotten better with my northern counties in Mississippi, but I've lived in South Mississippi my whole life, and so I've been having to train my northern counties since I moved to Starkville. And so just give me 1 second. I'm trying to remember which one exactly it is. Oh, Carrollton. I'm stupid. I don't know why I couldn't remember that one. Where to go? Sorry, this is like the one county I'm not good with. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's down here between Greenwood and Winona. For Carroll County, the radar is really suggesting that you're probably seeing freezing rain and rain mix right now. Probably some frozen, some is not. So really, probably a little bit of a disgusting wintry precipitation right now for Carroll County, and that's going to continue for the next several hours. What you'll see is there's a breakout here in portions of northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas that's going to move into northwestern Mississippi tonight. And so you might get a break between the freezing rain right now and then between now and Sunday morning. So you might get a little bit of a break overnight, but also know you have another wave that's going to be coming through tomorrow morning. And so you'll deal with this for the next several hours. You might get a break, and then you also have more freezing rain coming in tomorrow morning. So good question. Good, good, good at making me remember where my counties are in Mississippi. You're welcome. Dang, already out of water. We look a little bit closer towards the actual radars real quick. I'm going to move over to the looking at single site radars. Jackson shows that there's some intrusion of freezing rain, um, not freezing rain, of just some rain into northwestern Mississippi now. So it looks like we're starting to get a real mix of rain and freezing rain into northern, northwestern Mississippi, near Grenada, Greenwood, Oxford. And so probably a really disgusting wintry mix up in northwestern Mississippi right now. We'll look back over at some sky cams now. This is the one that's currently in Oxford. I'll actually go ahead and change the sky cam we're looking at right now. Let's see if we can see anything maybe near Greenville. Here's a view from Greenville right now. Let's go right here. This is a view we have from Greenville right now. Looks like maybe some ice on the ground. Definitely some ice on the ground here in Greenville. Um, some ice that hasn't melted on the ground just yet, but definitely a little bit of a wintry mix over there in Greenville. A mix of freezing rain, maybe some sleet, and then rain on the ground right now. So just be careful for black ice out there on the roadways, and just know there is probably some freezing rain on the power poles as of right now. So just be prepared to potentially lose power, especially if you're in northern Mississippi right now. Going back into the story of Magnolia State weather right now. Um, Personally, I've seen many different um, pages trying to cover Mississippi weather. But personally, I mean, it's easy to tell that certain pages have no business running meteorology accounts because they never do live videos, never do live feeds, none of that. It's just posting anything for clicks. And so that was really why Magnolia State Weather was born. I'm a meteorology major at Mississippi State. Right now, I'm a junior. So we got this semester and then one more year until we get the bachelor's degree. But then I'll be going and trying to get my master's right after that. But overall, meteorology class is really fun. Um, just doing this for the love, guys, and I love the state of Mississippi, and I want to keep everyone informed the best I can. But Magnolia State weather has really taken off here in the last few weeks, and it's really been a joy um, to see the support of people across the state of Mississippi. Sorry if I'm looking down a lot. I don't really have the camera in the best place. It is a kind of it's a little bit of a mock setup we have here. Um, if I'm looking down this way, where I'm looking right now, this is where my recording monitor is. That has the comments. It has just the recording studio down here. This is where I look for a lot of data. Right in front of me is of course the radar that's right in front of you, and then over here on my right side, which is going to be to the left, is going to be my traffic cam. So that's why I'm looking around a lot right now. Next question is, when can Capaya, Mississippi expect ice cream? Um, I mean, if you want to go to the store right now and get some ice cream, you're more than welcome to do so. It's looking like Capaya County would more than likely see freezing rain tomorrow morning. I think if I knew correctly, it would be between 6 a.m. and 12 p.m. I think that's the 6 hour window. We can look at the model real quick. I can't remember the exact timing, but if my memory serves me right, it looks like freezing rain would begin around 6 a.m. and then would continue on to about midday. And so that's your 6 hour window where freezing rain is definitely possible in Capaya, Mississippi, or in Capaya County, I should say. Um, just know it is still totally possible you don't get any freezing rain, but honestly, the HRRR here is suggesting that you could see some freezing rain into southwestern Mississippi. But a good question. I mean, if you want to go get ice cream at Dollar General right now, um, go right on ahead. Just some rain over southwestern Mississippi right now. Let's pull up the traffic cam again. This is from Greenville, Mississippi. Definitely still wintry mix falling here in Greenville. But overall, doesn't look as bad as it could be. But I mean, I actually want to point out something on this Skycam right now. You can see on these power poles right here, or well, power lines, I should say. Now, this might, that was a terrible circle I just drew. But you can see on these power lines that power the red light. So not really power lines, but the spinning cables. Um, Definitely some icicles um, falling off and are hanging from this little cable here. So I would imagine it's the same for other power lines around the area. And so that's why we're expecting potential power outages across northern Mississippi. Next thing we can look at actually is going to be power outages. Let me move over this over here. And then let's go to power outages. Let's take a look at how we're sitting here in Mississippi. I actually don't think we're looking at many power outages at all as of right now. This was updated 7 minutes ago. It looks like our power grid's actually holding up pretty good. We have some power outages out in Wilkinson County. I would imagine this is probably, or maybe rain related, maybe something happened. 171 customers out down in Wilkinson County. But the other outage is going to be some in Sharkey County. You have 140 customers out in Panola County, 112 out in Adams County. But overall, I mean, the power grid's holding up pretty good right now. Really, it's going to be probably later tonight and into tomorrow that we really see power outages becoming a problem. But overall, the Mississippi power grid doing fairly good right now. And so that's what we like to see. We like to see everybody still with power right now. Um, Everyone's holding strong right now. We don't want to see anyone lose power, especially with lows into the single digits on Sunday night and Monday morning. I hope all of y'all's days are going good so far. Remember, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Um, that's what the comment section is here for. We're going to stay live for a little while longer. I want to stay live as we're going through this winter storm. It's a good idea. It's good to have live coverage um, as we're going through any major weather event here in Mississippi. I actually just got a notification from a school. Let's see. Let's see who's closing down. So Jones College in Jones County just closed for Monday, more than likely due to freezing roads on Monday morning and Sunday night. Like I said, Jones County is not going to see any freezing rain, but you can definitely see frozen roadways on Monday morning as all this rain begins to freeze. Let's go back to another camera. This is going to be on US 61. Um, Pull this camera up real quick. You see a farm field out there next to this, next to Highway 61. But overall, that field is covered in ice as of right now. 25 ice storm warnings across the country right now. 98 winter storm warnings. That's more than likely counties, if I had to guess. 98 counties across the U.S. under winter storm warnings. We're only 55 followers away from 13,000 followers over on Facebook. If we're going to look, I'm curious now, can we get, let's look, let's see if we have, yeah, here we go. Here's the precipitation accumulation so far. This is showing roughly, I mean, maybe near 3/4 of an inch of accumulation in northwestern Mississippi. Let me pull that up now. Um, Anywhere from a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of precipitation fallen in the green areas of northwestern Mississippi. But then maybe only upwards of 3/4, not 3/4, 3/10 to 1/4 of an inch of precipitation across the rest of Mississippi that has seen rain today, at least. This is what we're looking like. This is what we're looking at if everything was rain. I mean, you're seeing some moderate pockets of precipitation up for the areas that are in freezing rain and wintry mix as of right now. This is how we're looking on Interstate 55 between Coldwater and was that south? What was that? Between Coldwater and Hernando, where that camera is. So, still a long one ahead for us here across the state of Mississippi. While some areas might not be seeing freezing rain right now, specifically closer to the I-20 corridor, maybe the Golden Triangle, and also portions of southwestern Mississippi, just remember that threat is for tomorrow morning. We will definitely be live tomorrow morning, covering more wintry weather moving into the state. Let's play this ahead for you right now, what we've seen across the last several hours on the radar as it loads right now. I'll bring up the Skycam while this waits and loads just real quick. This is what we're seeing up in northern Mississippi. This is just north of Coldwater, just south of Hernando. Plenty of freezing rain and snow falling on the ground as of right now. Some areas, some people traveling right now, specifically heading down towards South Mississippi. But overall, it looks like not much traffic going towards North Mississippi. Should Biloxi, Mississippi be worried about today? You're only going to see rain in Biloxi today. Biloxi will not be seeing any freezing rain with this system. However, I will say tomorrow afternoon, we are looking at a potential severe weather risk along the Gulf Coast. It is a fairly low risk, but there's still a chance of maybe a supercell or two, maybe producing a water spout, maybe a tornado moving into coastal Mississippi and southern Mississippi. I think Biloxi is in the marginal risk for severe weather tomorrow, but just know we do have that severe weather risk tomorrow for Biloxi. Looks like the radar finally updated, and so this is what we're looking at right now across Mississippi. This is what we've been seeing across the last several hours, which is freezing rain in northern Mississippi, rain across southern Mississippi, maybe a little bit of snow in northern Mississippi. That's what we had for a little while. But temperatures have warmed up just a little bit, which has moved that freezing line a little farther to the north, which was expected throughout the day today. But we will start seeing that freezing line move farther south as we go into tonight and temperatures begin to cool down. Let's get a better let's get a better camera angle now. Let's try to get something that's a little farther into South Mississippi. Maybe showing the rain that we're having right now. See if we have anything good in Natchez, any good cameras in Natchez. I can't find any good camera angles in Natchez. Here's a good one. This is how we're looking in, where's this? In Summit and McComb, Mississippi. Plenty of rain across southwestern Mississippi. Definitely a wet one out there. But this area could potentially see some freezing rain tomorrow morning between 6 a.m. and 12 p.m. So anywhere from 6 a.m. to noon. So you got about a 6 hour window that you could see freezing rain tomorrow. Whoa. Sorry about that. Don't know what just happened. All right, working to bringing back that camera up. All right, we're good once again. Don't know what just happened on the live stream. But here's where we're sitting. I'll go back to the radar real quick. Um, that freezing rain, really probably a little bit of a heavy amount of freezing rain going through Oxford, Clarksdale, Grenada right now, Greenville, Greenwood. Holly Springs, Boonville, Tupelo, maybe a little bit still right now. Still just areas of northern and northwestern Mississippi really just going to continue to see freezing rain for the next several hours. Areas that are in that line between freezing rain and rain is going to include like Grenada, Greenwood, Yazoo City, maybe Kosciuszko and Tupelo. But honestly, if you're a little farther south, like Yazoo City, Kosciuszko, Louisville, Columbus, I don't think you're going to see any freezing rain for the next several hours, and probably won't see any freezing rain until tomorrow morning for the most part. Zooming back out real quick, you'll see what's happening across the United States. You have rain across southern Texas, southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, with freezing rain spanning all the way from New Mexico through portions of Texas and into Louisiana, Arkansas, and then northern Mississippi. You also have a big snowstorm spanning from the Texas Panhandle through Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and then Tennessee as well. The system will continue to move off to the east and will bring freezing rain potentially into southwestern Mississippi and towards the I 20 corridor tomorrow morning. And we will also see more freezing rain across northern Alabama and then also North Georgia, looking at the potential for an ice storm tomorrow morning. We can actually go out and look at um, the freeze warnings here in just a second. Let's see what I have here. Let's see if we can pull out the current watches and warnings across Mississippi as of right now. I hope you are all having a good afternoon across Mississippi as of right now. Luckily, it looks like most of the state still has power. We're not seeing any real power outages up in northwestern Mississippi and northern Mississippi, as we were kind of expecting already. Um, but very blessed that everyone still has power, or at least most people still have power across northern Mississippi. Right, we're about to pull out the current watches and warnings across northern Mississippi to remind you of who is kind of expecting impacts by the National Weather Service. Remember, if you're new, if you have any questions, please put any questions in the chat. That's the easiest way for me to get any information you need directly to you. It can be specific locations, specific counties, it can be anything you need to know uh, for this winter storm. All right, so here we go. Here is where the current warnings are across Mississippi. Areas in the purple. Areas in purple are kind of expecting a ice storm across the next 48 hours. Now, some of these areas farther to the south, like Wilkinson, Franklin, Copiah, Rankin, Leake, Winston, and Lowndes counties, this is more of a hit or miss area. But the National Weather Service thinks that you are at a good enough risk of ice that they were going to go ahead and put you under an ice storm warning. Areas in the pink up in northwestern Mississippi, that's a winter storm warning. That is for wintry mix, ice, snow, whatever it may be up there for those three counties. Areas in this purple color, which include Noxubee, Neshoba, Scott, Smith, Simpson, Lincoln, and Amite counties, uh, you're at a risk for a little bit of ice, according to the National Weather Service of Jackson. But your risk is still low enough that they aren't confident enough to put you in an ice storm warning as of right now. So you are under a winter weather advisory. And then two counties that are still only under a winter storm watch is Pike County and Walthall County. as of right now. I'd say Walthall County, I'm not expecting any freezing rain there, but for Pike County, maybe you have a small chance of freezing rain tomorrow morning. We are 6 degrees. Okay, next question is we are 6 degrees cooler in Mount Olive than the hourly index says we should be. Is it possible to get something even though Mount Olive isn't in it? Let's find out. I'm assuming this is which Mount Olive is this, if you don't mind me asking? I know plenty of communities named Mount Olive across Mississippi. I just want to make sure we are referring to the right Mount Olive here. Which county Mount Olive is this? I'm assuming this is the Covington County Mount Olive. If so, I'd say Mount Olive, while you are cooler than you should be, um, I would say that more than likely you're not going to see any freezing rain, but I wouldn't say it's out of the question completely. But I do think if Mount Olive does see any freezing rain, it would be minimal. You're just a little bit too far to the east. That's a good question, though. Yes, temperatures are cooler across portions of South Mississippi than they were expected to be, but I don't think this is going to create a freezing rain threat farther into South Mississippi. That's just going to allow for the freezing line to make it into southwestern Mississippi, like I was kind of saying was possible. And so, while I don't think freezing rain will make it to Mount Olive, Mississippi, um, it definitely allows for freezing rain to make it into portions of southwestern Mississippi, maybe into portions of Rankin County towards Jackson. Um, but overall, I'd say Mount Olive, you're still good as of right now. If you got any freezing rain and I'm wrong about it, it would be minimal. A good question. I like that one. As of right now, though, Covington County, just freezing rain for the next, or not freezing rain, just rain for the next several hours. The freezing rain threat would be anywhere from 6 a.m. to noon tomorrow. My little camera cover fell off. There we are. We're back. Sorry about that. Sorry, dogs here at the house that we are recording at, but that is perfectly fine. They're all lovely little golden doodles, have all the energy in the world. So that's how we sit right now. How long have we been live for? Roughly an hour at this point. Yeah, we've been live for a little over an hour at this point. And so let's see, trying to answer questions and looking at any social media questions I can use for content here. Um, Let me mute the mic for 2 seconds. Yeah, apparently the dogs are curious about the weather right now. Yeah, sorry, we have a little bit of a different setup for this weekend. I'll kind of go through that story as of right now while I'm trying to figure out some things. Um, I do live in Starkville, Mississippi right now since I'm a student at Mississippi State. That's normally where the setup is. That's normally where we are live streaming. But due to the risk of freezing rain in Tibaha County and for the Starkville area, and due to the risk of losing power, we moved down south for the weekend here in Jasper County, and so we're down farther south for this event. This is all just so that I can do the live streaming coverage, so I can keep you all updated. And also because I didn't want to write it out in Starkville and potentially lose power because that would suck. Let's just be real. Um, but overall, yes, we're back farther south. We're um, here at a um, never mind. But yes, we're in a different location, and so yes, there are animals here. So if you hear any barking, sorry about that, but I don't really. It's not a big problem for me. I think the mic has enough suppression on it that it might not pick it up that loud. So sorry about that, but I think it's fine. I'm gonna keep the live stream up right now. I'm not really looking at a ton of stuff right now unless I get questions. Um, if I get some questions, I'll answer them as soon as I can and as soon as I see the question. But for right now, I'm trying to answer um, any questions I might have on Facebook as of right now. Let's see what I just saw. I'm trying to see if there's any questions on Facebook as of right now because I've been seeing different text messages throughout the day and people asking different things. I think the first question I saw was um oh no, I just goofed that. Someone's asking about Rankin County. Let's see. Let's go through the questions here. I just got a question about Covington County. Thank you for that question. Covington County, I think, is in a fairly good spot here. I think it's more than likely that you're not going to see any freezing rain with this system. If you get anything, it would be a trace amount tomorrow morning from about 6 a.m. to 12. That would not really have any impacts. For Covington County, just expect um, rain with this system throughout today and into tomorrow across Covington County. The next one was, could Madison get freezing rain any earlier than tomorrow morning? Could the temp possibly drop earlier? Good question. I can actually pull up the HRRR right now and let's see what the HRRR is saying. So the HRRR shows that Madison County could potentially start seeing rain around, or freezing rain, maybe around 4 a.m. tomorrow, 3 to 4 a.m. on Sunday. Um, I don't really think that the freezing rain can get there any sooner, really, because um, you're going to have the cool down of the night. But really, whenever you get into the thick of it with a system like this, really it's more of the um, system pushing cold air in instead of the temperatures falling due to it being nighttime. Um, but I would say it's fairly confident that more than likely your freezing rain would start to move in around um, 6 a.m. But yes, it's a little possible that maybe some freezing rain starts moving in around 3 a.m. So yes, it is possible for the temps to move, or for the freezing rain to move in a little earlier. But I would say maybe 3 a.m. at the earliest. But 6 a.m. is whenever we would start seeing that freezing rain start to settle into Madison County. Good question. Jones County. So for Jones County, I think Jones County is completely in the clear. Jones County will not see any freezing rain with this system. However, Jones County will still see black ice on Sunday night and into Monday morning as the rain that's fallen with this system begins to freeze over the roadways. Um, so that's where Jones County's sitting. No freezing rain is going to fall from the sky, no sleet, no wintry precipitation. But that rain will freeze over on Sunday night and into Monday morning. that's where we're sitting at right now. All right, I'm about to put a sky cam up just real quick so I can go get some water here in just a second. Let's see. Let's put a sky cam up towards the Memphis area. Let's go with South Haven. Um, put a sky cam up here. I'm trying to find a good one. MDOT is warning that if you're in northern Mississippi, remember bridges will ice before um, roadways. So that is why they are closing. Um, that is why they are closing roads early. Radar scope in precipitation mode is showing some pink where we are right now. Just curious if that would be freezing rain, but I guess it's just cold rain. Yeah, so that's a problem. So like, it really just depends. Like if I go to the Jackson radar here, let's go to the Jackson radar. Like at least for, let's see, what county was that? That was about Madison County. Yeah, so yeah, I guarantee you it's probably showing maybe some freezing rain and pink on the radar. However, I would say this is more than likely because the radar beam is higher up in the atmosphere. And so I really think that temperatures are probably cooling down, or not cooling down, are warmer at the surface than the radar thinks it is. Like let me go look. What is it? Canton, Mississippi temperature right now. Let's see where we're sitting. Canton, Mississippi is sitting. Um, this is saying 40 degrees. I would say that's probably a little high. Let's try to go somewhere else. Let's go with Pickens. Go with Pickens, Mississippi. Yeah, this is showing Pickens around 40 degrees as well. I think it's probably a little cooler. Let's see if I have any observations here that we can look at. And so what's happening is the radar app thinks it's cooler than it is. And so looking at the METAR here, the METAR data, this shows 36 in North Jackson, possibly, let's see, we got 31 in Greenwood. And so not really any stations across this area in Madison County, but I would say more than likely the radar is probably showing some mixed precipitation, showing that those purples, like you said, but I guarantee you at the surface it's probably not cold enough yet. And so that's why the radar is showing it, but it's more than likely just falling as rain. I totally understand that question. That's a question that gets asked a lot. And like for example, like the Starkville, Mississippi METAR is showing 32 degrees, but the radar is not even showing freezing rain. And honestly, I think it would more than likely be falling as water anyway. Yeah, it's just some weird things we deal with here in Mississippi. I'm working on building a system that's going to be a little different in terms of the temperature and freezing rain aspect and all of that. Yeah, no, winter weather radar is it's all fake. It doesn't exist. I can't explain to you enough. It doesn't exist. All it does is estimate the temperature and it estimates the what the rainfall is. So like if I go over to like the actual Jackson radar real quick. So this is the Jackson radar in winter weather mode. And so all this does is it takes the radar data and then changes what it shows based on the temperature. But technically all the radar sees is this. This is all the radar sees. All the radar sees is basically as if it was raining. That's all the radar beam can give back to us. It can give back some different shapes now, and you can use some of that to estimate if it's sleeting or snowing or whatnot. But all it does is it takes this radar data over northern Mississippi and it's like, oh, it's below freezing, and then it shows it as freezing rain. And so it's all kind of just computerized. It's all guesstimations. It's not real. That's a very, very good question. I always enjoy going into the science aspect of weather apps and radars and all that stuff right now. Let's see if we have any other questions on Facebook as of right now. Sorry that like I'm kind of like looking all over the place right now. I'm just trying to give us stuff to talk about as we go through this. Someone asked on Facebook, what does a winter weather or what does a winter advisory mean? And so I'm answering this question right now. Great question. A weather advisory is when the National Weather Service is not certain enough. Well, at least in this case, it's because the National Weather Service is not certain enough on if you will be seeing freezing rain or not. Okay, but the but it's really hard to answer a question like this because I'm trying to answer it in terms of it's a great question. The National Weather Service has these areas under a winter advisory because the confidence in freezing rain is low, but not zero. I think that's the best way I can put a winter advisory in this. So the question was, what does winter advisory mean? Of course, you have areas that are under a winter storm warning right now, or maybe even an ice storm warning or a winter weather watch, or a winter storm watch, I should say. But what does a winter advisory mean? An advisory means that um, you're in between. Maybe you get freezing rain, maybe you don't. Confidence is low, and that's how I'm answering that question as of right now. We might have some guest appearances on the stream before too long. Maybe not with um, any pictures or anything, but maybe some voices of other fellow um, meteorology majors. I have some friends I have that are very smart in the weather community. I'm only going to give you the best that I know around me. And these are potentially two of my buddies that are also really good in the weather world that I can trust and that are going to always talk and give you accurate content. It's actually really hard to find that in the weather community, and I've even learned that myself as a meteorology student. You might be able to pass the classes, but it doesn't mean that you know much about meteorology. And luckily, I have some connections that help me out, and we all have fun and we talk about the weather and study together, and it's all that great. So, luckily, we might have some more content come to you here in a little bit with some voices from some other people. I just got an image from by Montgomery. I just got sent a message by one of those two that apparently ice is forming on power lines in Montgomery County. I can believe that. Let's see, let's find Montgomery County. Give me 1 second. Let me find an MDOT traffic cam for this. Um, which camera is it? Oh, this is in Starkville. Sorry, not Montgomery County. Or maybe it is Montgomery County. Sorry. A little bit of confusion going on right here. Give me 1 second to get what we need real quick. There we go. MDOT traffic cam. So we've been talking about how ice is going to become a problem. Let me pull up the one of the sky cams from Starkville, Mississippi. I'm switching to the video here, and so here it is. I just got sent in this camera, which shows ice all over this traffic cam here in Starkville, Mississippi. And so what's happened is that it rained early in Starkville. We had ice earlier in Starkville. That then melted, but then refreezed on this camera lens. And so lots of freezing water here over the camera in Starkville. So that means we're going to start seeing issues with um, freezing on power poles up in northern Mississippi here before too long. I know that the power is holding in strong, but I'm still worried about the power issue and the power lines. find another sky cam. Let's go back to that Highway 49 or near Highway 49. Here's another one. This one is near Rich, Mississippi, outside of Coahoma. So outside of Coahoma, we're seeing the same problem where traffic cams are starting to freeze over just a little bit. And so this is going to be a problem that we see across almost all of northern Mississippi. Next camera I'm going to pull up is going to be the Saltillo camera. Actually, no, it's not. It doesn't really show much of anything. See if we have anything that shows anything falling. Yeah, let's go to this camera south of Hernando, Mississippi. We're gonna go to this camera and we're gonna sit here for just a second. Let me get some water real quick. Take a short little voice break, but we'll stay here just for a second. We'll go into a much more of a conversational feel of this live stream. All right, I'm back. I actually want to look at some sky cams, not sky cams, but some cameras from Mississippi State University. Let's see if we can see anything. Here's the view from Starkville, Mississippi. This is Mississippi State University, where we're seeing what looks more to be rain falling across Starkville as of right now, but a beautiful view of Starkville right now. This is a camera that's on Davis Wade Stadium looking off to the south, but just plenty of rain and maybe a little bit of freezing rain falling there in Starkville. Let me find out actually. Um, I have a buddy that's in Starkville. Just ask him the question. We might figure out here before too long what is happening in Starkville right now. And Starkville is right on that line, really between freezing rain and rain. At least that's what the radar's showing. But overall, looks to me like it's more of rain falling from the sky in Starkville. I just want to currently, I want to shame somebody really quickly. I just got sent a lovely image by one of my buddies that shows a social media post. Um, you might not be able to see it's too great, but it shows someone using a model run for a system next week. I think it's probably the GFS. That shows they posted 7.5 inches of snow in Mobile, Alabama next week. Just know I don't think that's going to happen. If you're seeing pages post that right now, I would really consider where you get your weather from. I know I posted model runs several days out with this system. However, this system also had no systems in between it and also had plenty of had lots of consistency across the models. So I felt fairly confident to show you model runs with this system several days out. Um, if you're seeing anybody posting about next week's system and posting massive snowstorms over the south, I'd really consider blocking those pages. Um, Mainly because they probably know nothing about weather and don't know a lot of rules of thumb with models. If they're not having any consistency, and if there's a big system in between um, current time and another system, don't look at the long range models. It's ridiculous. No reason to do all that. That's why I'm not commenting on next week's system just yet, because we have a big system falling right now. That's going to change a lot of factors as we get near next week. Anyways, I think we might take a break for right now. I'll come back in roughly an hour, hour and a half maybe, and we'll start doing more weather updates as we get into tonight. But overall, I think I'm good for right now. I don't think we really need to um, I don't think we really need to go over too much more as of right now. Just know in northern Mississippi, you will continue to see a mix of freezing rain, just wintry mix in general across northern Mississippi. But we'll start looking at um, tomorrow morning's freezing rain risk as we get uh, farther into tonight. But, anyways, I'm going to go take a break. I'm going to go eat and do several other things I need to do for right now. But, anyways, thank you for watching for right now. Magnolia State Weather will be back here in a few hours.